5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Happy Thursday, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Thursday. How y'all doing? Welcome to The Point of View. I'm your host, DDE80, a.k.a. 13th Wonder of the World, a.k.a. Mike D. I know I messed up all the names, but I'm here, ladies and gentlemen. Mike DZ, how y'all doing out here on this Thursday at almost 12 o'clock in the afternoon on March the 27th, 2025 here on the Thursday. Shout out to the Point Place family. Shout out to Bobby Reezy. Shout out to M Breezy. Shout out to Naya, my sister. I love all y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in to The Point of View, which is on the Podbeam app as well as the YouTube app, man. Let me just start off by saying, man, March Madness is about to kick off today. Major League Baseball's kicking off today. NBA's coming on tonight. I'm going to talk about the NBA for a second. I want to talk about last night's games. Celtics just demolished the Phoenix Suns. I do believe that Kevin Durant is probably going to leave Phoenix when the season's over. They may have a shot at the play-in. I think that they're probably on the verge of getting eliminated from playoff contention. And it's going to be a shame because you got three great stars on their team and then they're underachieved and they're a very, very, very bad team, folks. Because a team like that should be winning and they're not. Sometimes it just don't work like that. You can't get everybody to shell on a team like that. It didn't happen for the Lakers when they had LeBron, AD, and Westbrook. It didn't work for them at that time, so it happens like that. It didn't happen when you had Scottie Pippen, Elijah Warren, and Charles Barkley on the same team back in the 90s when they played for Houston. It didn't work then. So sometimes it doesn't work like that. It didn't work for PG, Melo, and Westbrook in OKC. It didn't work for them that time. So it's tough. It's very tough to see that happen, and it happens like that, folks. But I do believe that Kevin Durant will probably be out of Phoenix when the season's over. I think he'll probably end up going somewhere, probably a Houston, or maybe go back to OKC or somewhere like that. Or he might go back to Golden State. I don't know. We'll see what happens with this. But right now, we're still in the middle of the season. Not only that, but the Nuggets destroyed the Bucks without Dame. Remember, guys, Dame is out for the rest of the season. He's dealing with blood clots in his leg. And I know how he feels about having blood clots in his legs. That's one of the most, difficult things to have happen to you when you have blood clots. I had blood clots in my leg, in my right leg, and my knee. And it was tough, ladies and gentlemen. It was tough. It hurted all the time. And it was very painful at times when you have blood clots in your leg because when they do operation on you, they got to make sure that clot is gone. And sometimes it's hard. But, I pray that everything goes all right with Dame as he, go through his situation and hopefully he'll be back to play. I don't think he's going to play anymore this year. I think blood clots was the reason why Chris Bosh retired. Blood clots hit Brandon Ingram, but Brandon Ingram was able to go out there and do what he got to do. You know something? I'm going to say this. He got traded to Toronto, and is he out for the season? Or what's going on with Brandon Ingram? I know he's on their roster, or is he not? He's not in New Orleans. I don't know because I haven't seen him since the trade. So I don't know what's going on with that. But that's part of the moving pieces in basketball. Also, ladies and gentlemen, do this. Also, ladies and gentlemen, let me also talk about the game of the night. And that was the game between the Lakers and the Pacers. LeBron had a bad scoring game. He only had like 13 points and 13 rebounds or something like that. I think it was 13 points. He had a double-double, but he was able to win the game for the Pacers. In a fun, exciting game, he played absolutely great. And I'm going to get back to LeBron in a minute. But ladies and gentlemen, let me say this about the Lakers. And now I'll talk about the Clippers also. But first, let me talk about the Clippers first. Clippers played absolutely great against the Knicks. Harden and Kawhi are playing some great ball right now. And even though they're like 8 in the West, they can scare somebody in that first round. And that could be OKC or Denver. They can scare somebody. I don't think they're going to win the series, but I think they can scare somebody, folks. Because Kawhi Leonard is playing all the time now. He's no longer playing, being restricted to back-to-backs and things like that. He's playing every time they play now. And he's doing what's best for his family and best for him. And he's out there playing. So, it's good to see him back in the mix, back in the fold of things. So Kawhi Leonard's probably going to be an all-star next year if he keeps this up and he doesn't get hurt. We know what James Harden's going to do. James Harden, this is one man, ladies and gentlemen, let me say this. James Harden never rests unless he's injured. Every now and then he will rest, but you don't see him doing that all the time. James Harden does not rest. He plays. He doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to him what's going on, who they're playing against. He plays. And that's what I like about, that's what I do respect about James Harden. He plays. He plays every night. Let me get back to the Lakers for a minute. LeBron for a minute. Yesterday, LeBron was on Pat McAfee's show. And, it was like an hour and a half or something like that. He was talking about, how he came up through high school and what made him go to Wade County and to go play with Miami, about the cookies and things like that. The podcast that he's coming out with, this time with Steve Nash, not JJ Redick. Steve Nash is going to be a part of the second season of it. It's coming soon, if I'm not mistaken. I think they already started, I think. He talked about a lot of things. Talked about sitting in the barber chair, talking about sports and things like that. How the game is different now than it was back then. About going back to Cleveland, going to LA and things like that. The relationship that he didn't have with Kobe until, he got to LA. The relationship that he don't have with Michael Jordan. He says he's going to wait until after he retires to have a relationship with MJ. Not only that, Bronny's breakout game and things like Bronny had a great game. Bronny is starting to prove to everybody he deserves to be in the NBA. It took him a while, but he's starting to show everybody now he deserves to be there. So, Pat McAfee asked LeBron about what's the deal with him and his colleague Stephen A. Smith. He says that he acts like a Swiftie. Stephen A. Smith is a guy that he told everybody that if LeBron would have took a swing at him, he was going to swing back. He said he didn't care if he was going to get beat up. He said, but he was going to take a swing because he said that it was not going to be a Will Smith, Chris Rock situation where you get slapped. And I don't think LeBron was going to put hands on Stephen A. I think LeBron was just telling him stuff, and Stephen A, again, has to rebuttal about everything. He's a guy that and I'm going to leave it at this because I respect both of these guys. But if you want to do that, hype it up in a celebrity boxing match. LeBron versus him in a celebrity boxing match. Put some money on the line. Take the money and put it on a charity or something. If you're going to do that. But I just want them to, get along and stop with this bickering between each other. Because it's not a good look for LeBron and it's not a good look for Stephen A. Smith. And I understand why LeBron's doing it. It has to do with what he said about Bronny. Stephen A. calling LeBron a liar and all that stuff there. LeBron's making fun of him when he's doing his sparring training. You know, and Stephen A. is over 50 years old. LeBron is 40. Grow up. Just please, both of you guys. I like both of you guys. You know, I'm a LeBron head, man. But I also like Stephen A. Smith. But just grow it up. That's all I'm going to say about it. I'm not going to critique nothing, but just grow it up. That's all I say. Let's get along. Let's get along and let's move. Let's push through that. LeBron is playing great. And despite all of that, LeBron went out there and won a game winner against Indiana. After he left the Pat McAfee show. After he left Pat McAfee, he went out there and won a game winning shot. Layup, tip in. So yeah. Kudos to the Lakers and kudos to LeBron and Luka for winning that game in AR-15. Let me switch gears and talk about AEW for a minute. From what I saw Swerve and your boys, the Death Riders. They're gonna get it. They're gonna get something going on here. Very interesting. They're heating it up and making it happen. I want Swerve to beat Jon Moxley, but I don't think Jon Moxley is going to lose the title. The only way he loses that title, unless they got something else for him to do. If all of them lose their titles at this upcoming pay-per-view, and I'll tell you what I'm talking about in a minute. If all of them lose their titles at the pay-per-view, then that's the right call by the company. And speaking of the company, what did I tell you guys when FTR and Edge first teamed up, combined? I said that they were going to try to go after the Trios Tag Team titles. This could happen. The 6-man tag team titles in AEW may become rated FTR. Unless there's a situation between Wheeler and Hardwood. Hardwood could be the one, or Wilder, either one. No, it's Hardwood. Because he was the one that walked away from them last Wednesday. So keep an eye on that and see if that does not happen. I do think that they will not lose, they will not beat the Death Riders because of that. That's just my thought, that's just my opinion. Because of the way that he's acting. He may be acting like that right now, but guess what? A storyline tells it all. You're not just going to walk out of the ring, leave your partners hanging, unless there's something else to the story. We're going to see what happens in the story coming soon. Looks like MJF will not be joining the MVP, and I think that Bobby Lashley will possibly go up against MJF. We see that already. We see the seeds of that. That could possibly happen. I think that knowing that worm that's called MJF, he's going to find him a faction to take out MVPs, to challenge MVP, Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin. That's just my thoughts on that. I see it happening. I see it's going to be a faction versus a faction. He can't get most of the Pinnacle back because the only person that's still there in the company with the Pinnacle is Warlord, and he's been hurt. So I don't know who else he's going to go with because everybody else is gone. Shawn Spears is in WWE NXT. I don't know who else he can get out there. I just don't know. But that's going to be interesting to see what happens with MJF and the Hurt Syndicate. Also, Megan Bayne versus Toni Storm. Interesting situation, man. Very interesting. We'll see what happens with that as the moving pieces go along. Mercedes Moné and Athena. I'm telling you guys, that's coming. I don't know when it may be at the pay-per-view, but I'm telling you, that matchup is coming. We'll see what happens with that as the moving pieces go forward with AEW. Tonight is TNA. I wonder who from WWE is going to be on TNA tonight. We'll find that out later on tonight at 7 o'clock on Access TV. Tomorrow's Friday Night SmackDown. We know that Friday Night SmackDown is still booked overseas, so 9 times out of 10 it'll be on at 2 o'clock, and the program on USA will probably air at 7. So we'll see about all that too as the moving pieces go forward with professional wrestling. Dark Side of the Ring, man. On Vice TV. Let me talk about that for a minute. There's been some grueling stories on Dark Side of the Ring. Nothing has been grueler. All of them been grueler. But guess what was grueler this week, guys? The story on Cactus Jack, a.k.a. Mick Foley. Watching that, I didn't watch all of it. I watched pieces of it because YouTube have it on there as well. Listening to what Mick Foley, oh my God, horrible, man. When he fell off that ladder, when he fell off that cage back in '98, I thought he was dead. I thought he was dead. The first time I saw it, I said, man, Mick Foley's dead. But seeing him get up and shake it off to get slammed again through a cage, Mick Foley was a soldier in the ring, guys. He was, to me, he was a crash test dummy at times. But he was very, 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 very respectable in the game. And I respect Mick Foley. Just like, you know, I see how he's come a long way. Nobody never gave him a shot at the WWE title until he got to WWE when he got into the situation with The Rock. Rock helped make Mick Foley a champion. That's true. Now, who else is going to help now make somebody else become a champion? That's what wrestling is all about. We'll see about it. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm off. Only 17 minutes. So, you guys enjoy your Thursday. Have a great day. God bless you, God. Keep you enjoy all the sports. Excuse me. I'm Mike D, and this has been your Point of View Daily Dose of Sports.